is up, guys? Driver3 Joe here to talk about a new virtual world. This one is called Toonkins. We did an interview with their designer. We're going to show you that in a second. But first, let me just show you guys a little bit of what it looks like. Now, they're going to have all kinds of other animals. Right now, their main one is a penguin, but there's going to be stuff like a platypus and such and such. We'll get into that during the interview. But before we start the interview, we're just going to show you guys that they are doing a giveaway, and on their Twitter, retweet and follow for your chance to win an exclusive and slick Rocket t-shirt on Toonkins. 10 winners will be selected for our big surprise this Saturday. So guys, be sure to follow them on Twitter at Toonkins and retweet for your chance to win the Rocket shirt. And then at the end of the interview, we'll show you guys some cool stuff that they gave us for a sneak peek. This will be released within the next few days of this video. That will be at the end, so enjoy. What up, guys? Drive-Through Joe here with Icy, once again doing another interview. Today we have Alex, the head designer of Toonkins, their only designer as of right now. If you don't know what Toonkins is, it's an upcoming virtual world. Very cool. I recommend you guys play it. Links to it will be in the description. But for now, we're going to talk about the game a little bit. And thank you, Alex, for taking some time to do this with us.
Oh, thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely, dude. I can't wait. So I want to start off before we get into detail about the game itself. I want you to just, tell the people a little bit about yourself. How did you start with the art industry? When did you discover that you were talented with that type of stuff?
Oh, geez. I don't know how long you guys want to record for.
Whenever.
Well, I mean, I've been interested in art basically my whole life. I knew really early on that I liked to draw. I believe 8 years old, I actually drew a comic strip to try and see what I could do. My family was, we lived about an hour and a half from Disney World, so we were greatly influenced by, all of the cartoons growing up, and my age group remembers the Saturday morning cartoon lineup, so that was always something that inspired me. And then so I drew a cartoon character, and it was just something that I had for a little while and just kept drawing that. And on my parents surprised me and got us a copyright for that character.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure 13-year-olds probably got better gifts than that, but to me, that was
Oh yeah,
cool.
absolutely.
And actually, it's interesting because April 16th is the 23rd birthday of that character.
April 16th. No
April
kidding.
16th, and I still draw them, and every couple of years I redo some drawings just to see what my style looks like at the time, and I just kind of have the archive of that.
Okay.
Pretty early on, I did go to art school, but I went to art school for industrial design because I got and making things and modeling things out and building them, and yeah, I just been doodling my whole life.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. I never really, I never had the artistic ability, so I mean it's definitely amazing to see somebody push this type of workout. It's actually because in this community, you see a lot of people do their own projects and stuff, and this is something that you would think somebody went out of their way and hired a professional designer to do. You know what I mean? This is by no means amateur work here.
Definitely not.
I appreciate that. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot that you just have to put your art out and just see what people say about it.
Right.
One of the best things that I got to do with the previous games that I've done, and just before even that, I was putting my artwork online to sell for clip art.
Wow, no kidding.
What pieces sold better and why they sold better, and I just kind of developed that on my own and just kind of learned from what.
Oh yeah, I mean, um, yeah, it's definitely a lot of talent, man. There's just the way it's laid out and stuff. Where would you say, um, when did the Kingdom Island whole idea come together? Where did you guys? I know not many people know this is a three-man team. These guys have been friends for years. Where did that start? Where did that all come together?
So I met Tony through the Miniclip forums. I don't know if everybody's familiar with that is.
Yes, yes.
Miniclip was a gaming is I guess is still a gaming website, and they used to have a discussion forum on there a long time ago. And I think when I first signed up was like 2003, 2004, and I went on there to just kind of check out. I had a question about a game, like this big community for all the other games and whatnot, and so I got on there, and very quickly I started realizing, like people needed, you know, kind of help getting like forum avatars and forum signatures and just kind of that thing. And so I figured, well, if I like doing art, I'll do that for them. And I met Tony that way. And then, two after all of that, he kind of took me aside and said, "Hey, man, this idea for this game, and you're, someone that I know that can do graphics, kind of quickly, and you know, at the time, I think, we were thinking about doing something in 3D, and I was doing 3D modeling, and he's like, "Hey, can you just give me like a couple graphics to start out?" And I was like, "Yeah, no problem, I'll help you." And
Absolutely.
that then turned into we called Dragon Play at the time. That then grew into Kingdom Island, and that's how we met Austin. Tony had met Austin.
Okay.
I'm not sure how they got together, but that's how I met Austin as a programmer was through that project.
Awesome. Interesting. If you could give any advice to newer designers and just go into a little more detail, what software do you prefer when creating stuff for Toonkins?
Oh, okay. Well, I remember when I started out, I didn't have access to, the professional setup. Like
Right,
everybody
right.
hears about, well, you got to have Photoshop, you got to have Illustrator, you got to have this program. All those programs cost a lot
A
of
ton
money.
of money.
Not only do they cost a lot of money, but some of them are, real professional workflows. And if all you really
Right.
want to do is doodle, then those aren't really the programs you should be using, because you're only going to use not even 1% of the capability of it, and you're just putting a lot of your hard-earned money into that. And so
No, for sure.
I remember as a teenager, my brother would make fun of me. I learned how to draw like clip art with Microsoft Office.
Hey.
PowerPoint. I used the PowerPoint tools, and I actually ended up making, when I was on the Miniclip forums, I made a lot of videos for people who then wanted to make their own art but couldn't afford, the big mainstream stuff. I said, "Well, here, do you have PowerPoint?"
Right,
And
right.
as I progressed, yeah, when I went to college, I had access to all of the, at the time, good programs, and I just dabbled and saw what I liked. There's this program that I use now. It's called Affinity Designer.
Okay.
Um, the reason I like to use that for Toonkins and specifically is vector art,
Okay.
which is basically, just I guess the best way to explain it, if you don't know what that is, just it's scalable art. Whatever you make, you can scale it indefinitely, and it won't lose any, um, uh, I guess, resolution.
Okay.
But I also like to have the aspect of like, textures and painting and all of that, Photoshop and Illustrator, but you have to do that separately.
Okay. Right. Right.
Designer, it lets you do everything in one program, and it's compatible with Photoshop. So if I ever have to, if we expand into a 10-person team and they're all using Photoshop, then hey, I can send my work over to them if that's the program they want to use. But it's
Absolutely.
just
No,
what
yeah.
you're comfortable with. That's what I'm using. And then for the characters, they're actually modeled in 3D, and then each pose is basically a snapshot, so that you can go into a sprite sheet. And I'm using Maya for that.
Okay. Okay. Um, how hard? I'll ask one more, and I'll let Joe ask a couple questions here.
Sure.
How hard is it? And I believe this is with virtual worlds over the years. I've been in the community for years. The biggest thing I've seen that killed a lot of games were they could not figure out how to create items that fit properly with the character. So what I mean is, how difficult was it for you to create a character um, and able to fit that hat on that character with all different angles and also adapt to other animals? Is that a challenge?
Yeah, I mean, we first kind of went into doing Kingdom Island. We the character, but we didn't quite have the technological capabilities of just like putting in a 3D file into the game. You know,
Okay.
like how the 3D, how the first person shooters and all, all that stuff is. We didn't
Right.
really have access to that at the time, so I had to really think about, and this is, I think, what the difference between being a graphic designer and being a game developer is just if you have a problem like that, you've got to really think about, okay, I'm not just making a graphic anymore. I have to make it fit this. And the move to do 3D characters was something that I was interested in at the time, and I said, okay, well, how then, you know, 100 hats and 100 shirts and 100, and they all overlay perfectly, and how do I make it so that Austin can layer them in the in the program, and they're not going to be colliding.
Right.
Um, and so what I enjoy is the kind of like thinking world. Like I always say, if you want to, a good kind of like game maker or just an artist in general, every now and then throw a wrench in your own work
Okay.
and just
Right.
kind of get around it, see what you feel. It's difficult. I think when initially it became an issue, yeah, I had to really think about things differently. But for a couple of years, and I mean, that game had many items and so much content that by the time the guys came to me with this idea, I said, okay, well, I've already got that figured out.
Okay.
How do we
Right.
take that to the next level? You know?
Absolutely. No. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
that's
put some
I
things
see a
on.
lot of I see a lot of companies do that actually. Even Lance Priebe. I mean, projects have failed, and instead of throwing it to waste, you reuse it, and that's part of you know game development, I guess. That's just
Yeah, I
process,
mean,
and
it's the same process like that you have to take with a lot of other things. Like, I always keep and I some people ask me like about like there's some people like I know some really good designers that they just have one thing that they're working on for like 3 months.
right, right,
That kind of person. I have to have 10 different projects, and I'll put some time into each of the 10 throughout whatever have you, and then I'll have a finished product.
okay, right.
So
I no,
that's just me.
no, absolutely. Everyone's got their own um, process of stuff. Before I go into what's to come next with Toonkins, I'll let Joe sneak in a few questions here. Um,
Yeah, so inspiration wise, I mean obviously that seems like the main picture's a penguin right now.
Mhm.
Um and any other factors, is is there a Club Penguin and Animal Jam inspiration here, or kind of like one or the other or both?
Well, idea when we came up with like obviously putting a penguin in was okay, we want to create a game that when you first see it, anybody that has been playing a virtual world for the last 10 years would know where we're going with it.
Right.
But it's a very obvious kind of like a marketing move. As far as where we're taking it from there, it's something different, or at least we'd like to make it different. Um, there's lots of different tunes that you're able to play. Even at this time, there's a platypus. That's the second character, and there is a reason why there's a platypus. I'll get into that a little later, but yeah, as far as like why we decided to do a penguin in the beginning, we didn't want to sit there. There's a lot of games that you first open up and you have to like have a tutorial for
Right.
in a game. We don't want to sit there and bore people out on something they should already be familiar with. And we, especially because we're shipping to mobile, so those things that if you don't know what it is within 5 playing, then we haven't done our job as far as designing it well.
Okay.
And engine-wise, this is made in Unity, correct?
Yes.
So why Unity over HTML5?
Well, from my understanding, and this is something that you could probably have to ask Austin. From my understanding, there is a way to make Unity work within HTML5. We made Kingdom Island entirely in HTML5, and that's how we were able to do, cross-platform in 2014. There's a lot of things within Unity as far as being able to make a game we want it to do and look the way we want it to look. There's a lot of tools that they have that we want to take full advantage of. Like for me personally, there's a lot of animation style that I never had access to, and had I needed to do any kind of animating before, I would have had to sit there and do a lot of frame by frame or do Flash or things like that, and puts it all in a bundle. Program side, Austin is an extremely talented guy when it comes to programming and coding.
Oh yeah.
And his primary decision to go Unity, and for me as the artist, I just say, hey man, as long as it can get us to where we want it to go, I fully trust everything that you say, man. And he's
no, I hear you.
He's very confident in the move, but I know there's a lot of people that think, oh man, yeah, Unity doesn't work this way. Yes, conventionally Unity probably doesn't work that way, but Austin, like I said, is quite the genius with this thing, and he does not disappoint.
No, it's looking great. What can we expect? Not I won't get into what can we expect for the future yet. What I want to know is what about this game is different than other games. What am I going to be doing on here? What are users going to be doing on here besides just walking around and talking? Are we going to be able to play games together? Are we going to have events together? What do you foresee for the future? I mean, it is talking about the future of the game, so.
Yeah, I mean that's a everybody wants to know. One of the things that we from our previous ventures and just in trying to make a game is that in my own, we ended up doing a lot of things in the background that were taking so much of our time away from the actual game, and we weren't able to really test anything out or test the market or really get to know what our user base actually wanted. And so we were spending months on mini games, like we had full platform mini games, like multi-level. Wow. We ended up doing as a separate app just because it was
No, absolutely. Like I said,
I
always
want people to just like to play that all day. And so the route that we're taking now is just we've got all these great ideas. We're going to throw them out there, build them so that we can measure the success, learn from what they're doing, try new ideas. We noticed that there's a void in the market right now for this genre of game. We want to involve the community as much as possible, and so as far as like going forward, what you're going to see from us that I think is going to be different is just the overall engagement of what does it mean to be in the community, right? There's a lot of people that create all kinds of content. There's a lot of people that probably into the stuff that happens outside of the game than inside of the game. And so our idea is, well, how are we going to incorporate all of this into our game? And we did a small test for this concept. I don't know if you guys. I know. Icy, you got to play with the pinata. I don't know if Joe, you got to play with the pinata on the game yet.
I think you
I
just
Um,
broke it.
I did. I don't think I got anything though.
Um,
Congratulations. It's a tough pinata. That's one of those things where we wanted to roll something out really, basic. That definitely gave us a good idea to where to go. Is we want to have something where the community 100% and you are needed just as much as you need other people to move on and to unlock things and to really expand the game into what it needs to do.
oh, right. Okay. Just trying to think. Hmm. Mostly, I got a good one. For full launch, is there a estimated date that we can expect? Are we talking this year, early next year?
Well, that's a great question. um,
Yeah.
um, the three of us, this isn't something we do full time. We each have our own dedicated lives. Some of us are married with kids. Doing
No, I
something like this,
absolutely.
8 hours a day, that's not what we're doing. Um, so a finished game within the year. I think it's mainly one of those things that because it's community driven,
Right, right,
you know, guys decide it's finished, then we will decide it's finished. But it's always going to be updated. It's always going to be, hopefully, be
right,
something that.
right.
And it's just like with Kingdom Island, it's we haven't developed anything for it, in a little while, but it's still open to play. So if anybody wanted to get in there and start it and play with it and whatever, we didn't shut it down. It's there.
Right,
Um,
absolutely.
as people enjoy playing it, we'll have it up.
Um,
So
oh
update
yeah,
wise, how often would it be, like weekly or bi-weekly? What's kind of the plan for
That
updates?
that is a great question, and I'll tell you, players, and you guys know this.
Mm,
It used to be you can get away with doing like an update like every couple months, maybe once a month,
mm,
and people would play and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm so excited." These new players, everything is like, "Okay, when's the next thing? When are you guys working hard enough? When's the next thing?" Um, the question for that is, there's a lot of when you put a game into a mobile platform,
right.
package everything up a certain way to work with the main game online or however you're going to do that. So, like for example, like events style things, you have to think of those months ahead of time.
right.
Unlock them or launch them. And so, for the first stages, because we're just really starting to flesh things out, we're able to on like a smaller scope update very quickly. I mean, we're already. I know it's not like an official update. Like we don't have like, but we've already put in. Let's see, we've got the main game in there. We already showed another character. We've got two items in there. We've got a room that has been done since the same time that the main room has been done. So we're getting that done. That's going to be. I think I put it on there in case anybody didn't get the memo. The 13th is going to be the new room.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing the room's done. We're just we decided on a date so we can tell everybody because we'd like everybody to see it. So
Okay.
yeah, as
Yeah.
far as
No.
updating, as often as I can. To do it
Do
so quick.
you see yourself pushing a lot of characters, aka tunes out, multiple different kinds? Like, is there going to be tens, like 10, 20, 30 different characters eventually?
So right now there's 8
Wow.
that are
Okay.
in there for testing, right?
Okay.
Um, there's the concept that we're after is they're going to be unlockable. So it's going to depend on how quickly we see get through and really what the demand is. If we see that, everyone is just kind of happy with, then we do 10 and we move on to a different, thing. I know that people want to collect. I know games like Fortnite are really big on the skins. They're really big on, that sort of thing. So, I mean, I can sit and design tunes all day long, and that's a lot of fun. Um, but with doing that, like for I was talking about the platypus earlier. There's the reason why you see the platypus now. It's not the second tune I designed. If anybody had been following, from the beginning, I did the penguin first, and then I said to myself, okay, I want to do something extremely different than the penguin. What can I think of? So I made the sloth. Right.
Yep. Yeah.
It's really cute. It does what I want it to do. It looks completely different. But if you are keen to design, you'll notice it's the same exact thing as the penguin. It fits universally with the penguin, right?
No. Yeah. Yeah.
No challenge there. It's ready to go as long as it looks like a sloth. We're good. So then I put it out there like, hey, I want to make some new characters. My brother actually suggested the platypus, and I kind of laughed at it at first. And I thought, you know what? Let's just do it. And I made some other characters, and I immediately when I was making the platypus, I thought, okay, I've got a big challenge with characters right now. A
Yeah.
longer
Actually.
bill and a longer tail. But what that does for my design is I've got to then figure out how it's going to work with all of the items on the player profile and how it's going to work everywhere else. And if I had figured that out, then I can really open up the door to anything else. And so as soon as I figured out the platypus, man, you saw me cranking out tunes that just had, and long snouts and you name it. I mean, as long as it's within the same character shape. I mean, I foresee, I had this crazy idea, and I don't know if, what the guys thought of it, but, wouldn't it be cool to have an alien?
Oh
If you
yeah.
wanted like a squid, I could do a squid. There's just some design things, but yeah, Toonkins already has multiple character support. The
Okay.
platypus is already in the game. We just delivered. We haven't delivered it to the users yet. We feel like not so much that we want you to just wait for it. We're testing things that need to be tested. Sometimes characters are fun to collect, and you will get to collect those, but we want to make sure that we're testing the right things first.
Okay. Right. Um. Yeah, guys. I mean, I don't know if you call it beta or early testing, but you guys can check them out on Twitter. It's at Toonkins. You can go to their website, toonkins.com, sign up. It's fully playable. Walk around, chat with friends.
Links will
Like
all
he
be in
said,
the description. Everything you guys
yes,
need.
yes, all the links will be in there. Other than that, I mean, like I said, we can expect to see a lot. It's going to be a slow process. That's with any game. But as he said, he's got a lot of stuff already made and ready to pop out. I got a question. Your
Yeah.
logo. What is on the top right of your logo? What critter is that?
Of what?
Toonkins Virtual World. I'm looking on your Twitter. I see it.
Oh,
Is
on
it
the
a
Twitter.
mouse? What is that?
Yes, it is a mouse character.
So that is something we can expect.
Yes, that is something that you can expect.
Okay. So today is the 7th, guys. You probably won't see this video for a few days. That means you're probably gonna want to sign up. Like you said, there's a new room coming on the 7th
Yep.
or 13th.
On the 13th, the second room to Toonkins is going to be open.
Awesome. I
It
do
is
know
one
these
of
good.
my favorite rooms, so I will say that.
Okay, perfect. I can't wait. They definitely do have a Discord as well. We can throw that down there. If you guys want to go in there and chat with them, you can expect another interview probably within a month or so. We'll let them do a little more developing and we'll get all three of them together.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, like I said, Alex, we appreciate your time. Couldn't ask for anything better. We got some info on the game, your past, and what's to come. So Unless Joe has some other questions, that should do it for me.
No, I mean mine were answered. Got a lot of cool information. I can't wait to see how this game turns out.
I appreciate
Absolutely.
it, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Is there anything you'd like to throw in, Alex? Or
No, I mean, I think everybody, we want to have people play so that we know what direction to take. So, and any feedback is good feedback, when you're developing a game. So,
oh,
sign
perfect.
up, get on there. If you want me to change something, tell me. If you want me to add something, tell me, and we'll throw it out there, test it, and just see how it works.
That is Twitter is at Alex underscore RONAY. If you want to get in direct contact with Alex, he's pretty active on there. So,
You,
but yeah, other than that, appreciate your time, and
of
we'll be
course.
in touch.
Yeah,
All right, thank you guys.
thank you.
Absolutely. See you.
Have a good day. All right, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed that interview. That went really well. So, as promised, here's some of the sneak peeks they showed us. And first, we got a new pinata. This is a rocket pinata. Pinata hangs from the top, and that's where items fall out from. So, there's going to be a new one. Obviously, going to be a new item coming from it. That's going to be very cool. Then we also got a look at the new UI here. You see the player card here. Got some items, cool new items, other animals. Looks like it's connected to social media as well. I think so. It's just speculation, but it looks like that's what we got here too. Profiles. So very cool. Very excited for this game. Let us know what you guys think below, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one, everybody.